everyone. My name is Unnati Chavan and I am representing D4 Analytics, and I welcome you all on behalf of D4 Analytics to this webinar on digital induction. I request everyone to mute your voice settings so that there is no disturbance. What is digitalization? It's an inevitable change. Digitalization is changing everything. It's changing everything around us, and it is changing us also. It has changed our culture, our imaginations, our career prospects, our bank balance, our health, etc. Gone are the days when we used to go to the bank and fill different forms for doing different transactions. Now, on the click of a button, we can do everything easily. Also gone are the days when we used to move around to every offices with a resume and ask for job. Now, once we upload our resume on the online portal, it becomes easier. Our profile is shared with different companies, with different employers, and they approach us again through a digital platform. Now, a perspective of digital business. It has now become a need today. It is just not an extended IT solution. It is just not a product that can be bought off the shelf to support our businesses. It just not analyzes large chunks of data, huge data. It's just not something that you can plug into your existing processes and bring efficiencies. But yes, it is a marriage of all these. Digital business is a strategy that requires you to change the way we take each step today for a better tomorrow. What are our visions? What is the vision of D4 in this digital world? We want to become a leader in operational big data analytics. We want to simplify analytics for decision making. We want to enhance analytics culture so each and everyone becomes aware of analytics and speaks that language. We want to develop that intellectual property within everyone. And last but not the least, yes, we want to contribute in the Make in India program to make ourselves the world leaders in analytics. With sharing our visions, here are our missions that we want to complete, that we want to achieve and accomplish. We want to build an analytics ecosystem that will integrate industry domain knowledge and the data science for solving complex problems and coming up with intelligent solutions. We need to enhance digital literacy, as mentioned earlier, so that everyone talks digital analytics language. We want to develop people so that they appreciate the strength of analytics and can use analytics and can make data-driven decisions which are way smarter. Also, analytics helps us in giving early warnings and helps us in failure diagnostics and prescriptive analytics. Now, we talk about big data. Big data is always flowing in and out. Such huge data, the velocity of the data is very large. The variety of the data is very large. If we don't act on the data in time, we would miss out on the insights that it wants to give us, and we would lag behind. So we want to create a value-driven culture where we can efficiently manage and create algorithms which can give us on-time and just-in-time actionable insights. Now, what are the D4 value chain propositions? D4 important value chain propositions, the most important of it, the first is developing analysts. We want to enhance each and every one to take data-driven decisions, to understand analytics, and so that everyone speaks that language. We want to impart knowledge of analytics through concepts and through different technology packages like R, Excel, Python, etc. We as a team can set a roadmap which can help us in fast data ingestion so that we can ingest data which is very high in velocity, variety, and volume, which is called big data. We can apply advanced analytics on the data. We can get just-in-time and on-time insights, the actual awareness, the real-time awareness, and we can have actionable insights on the solutions, the problems, and we get prescribed solutions for those. And hence, we want to empower the digital performance index. Now, talking about the vision of D4, the mission that we want to accomplish, and discussing the value chain propositions, we want to sum up our value propositions. To sum up our value propositions, we want to drive digital transformation everywhere so that the industries are aligned and we solve big data programs and problems with the data science concepts. Now, how do we go about interpreting data and get intelligent solutions out of it? The basic of everything is data, the information. We get data. The first is the data integration process. We get data through various sources from SAP, text files, XMLs, etc. We can collate all those on a platform and can store them in enterprise data warehouse where the initial reporting and analysis is done. From that data enterprise warehouse, it moves again to a different platform and can be distributed to various business users. Now, after this data integration process, data collation process, we need to do data preparation. Now, what are the steps that we need in data preparation? We need to acquire the data. We need to reformat it according to our business use and situations. We need to have initial analysis, which are the basic analysis like scatter plot and box plot, which helps us understand if there are any outliers or missing values in the data. These analyses are very important, as if there are outliers or missing values, we might understand what data is telling us, because missing values or outliers can distort our results to a larger extent. Hence, detection of the data, detection or cleaning of data is really important. Moving on, we have a data analytics flow. We have an overview over here. We have discussed this part already, which tells us about the data preparation. We have been discussing about data collation, data integration, and data cleaning. Once our data is prepared, we can move to our main crux, that is data analysis. Now in this, we have data mining, we have segmentation, and data modeling. Now what are these? Data mining means we try to find out more and more insights from the data, what it wants to tell us, what it has in its kitty to tell us. Now after we have found out what the data is telling us, we can segment the data. For example, we might have collected a data of a lot of customers. We can segment those customers into different age groups so that we can accordingly concentrate on their needs. That's one small basic example of segmentation. Now after segmentation is done, we need to do data modeling. Now not each model will satisfy each segment of the data. We need to create different models for different data. Now after data modeling is done, we move to this very important part, which is called as validation. We have different validations. We have business reasonableness validation, model cross validation, and statistical validation. All these have one basic intention or objective, is to find if the model that we have created is consistent or no. It need not happen that the model that we create on the current time frame might fit exactly or perform exactly on a different time frame. We need to check this consistency so that we can rely on a model, and hence there is a need of doing data validation. After the data validation, we can have final reports, and then we can make some actionable recommendations. Excuse me. After we have, to summarize all this, after data ingestion, we prepare or analyze scripts, we execute scripts, we inspect their output with different visualization techniques. We validate the model, we validate the assumptions if they are being satisfied. If they are not being satisfied, we try to explore alternative models, and this is a cycle. Once we have a good model in hand, which is following all the assumptions, which is being validated on different time periods, then we have a good model built with us, which can be represented on a graphical dashboard, which is easy for a layman to understand, which can give us predictive alerts and actionable insights to work upon in future. Here we have an advanced analytics framework. The initial steps, as we discussed earlier, is data integration and preparation. That data preparation, integration, the complete data flows into the data warehouse where it is enriched, cleaned, and then it moves to analysis. And finally, it's the step where we have the model built and we can share the insights which we get from the model built. Now, in all this process, we have different technologies or different softwares which help us do it very smartly. We have softwares like Alteryx, SAS, R, Python, etc., which help us do analysis very easily and smartly. Then we have different visualization tools or representing tools or reporting tools like Oracle, Excel, etc., where we can represent our final outcome. Now, using all these techniques, how do we solve our complex industrial problems? How do we create a sustainable big data architecture so that our complex industrial problems are solved very smartly? We get data inflows from various sources and in different types and variety. We get transaction and application type of data, we get images, we get social data, we get videos, we get third-party data. These are all forms of data. From this piece of information, we want to move to gather information from these data and apply analytics. We need real-time processing and analytics to be applied. From this, we move on to knowledge. So if we observe, it is a pyramid. At the base, we have the data. We move forward, we get the information from that data. We move upwards, we get knowledge from that information. And at the top is the wisdom. From that knowledge, we get the wisdom, which helps us enhance performance of customer experiences, which helps us understand the risk and fraud, and we can have a vigilance about it. We can optimize operations. So all these things can be enhanced by the wisdom that we get from these step-by-step ladder. To talk about knowledge over here is from the data, what we understand is what the basic is that we have descriptive analysis that we do at the beginning, which tells us what's happening in the data. Then we move forward to diagnostic analysis, which tells us why it happens. Then we move to predictive analytics and modeling, which tells us what could happen in future. And then we move to decision management, that is prescriptive analytics, which tells us what best actions to be taken. So it is a complete cognitive knowledge management that we need to do. Discussing about all this analytics, is this all possible real time? Yes, it is all possible real time. And do we need real time analytics? Do we need a framework for real time analytics? Yes. Why is it very important? Suppose we are doing some transaction online. How will a bank know if it's a fraudulent transaction or it's a genuine transaction? How do they detect if it's a fraudulent transaction or a genuine transaction? That is where they apply real-time risk management. They get inflows, they have algorithms which finds out real-time risk, and that is how they can identify it and they can block the cards or they can block the transaction if they find anything suspicious. This is where real-time risk management really works. What is the flow of it? We get information from various devices, which gets stored in a cloud. Now this is a lot of information and hence it is called big data as it is a huge amount of data. This big data, from that we get into machine learning. Machine learning tells us if there are abnormalities, it studies the data and the pattern, if there are abnormalities in the data, and it finds out if there are abnormalities, it gets stored in the cloud again, and it is a cycle which helps us with real-time risk management. Now this all is very important so that we can control and mitigate the risk that may come. Now we need to have an adoption methodology when we are speaking about all this risk and technology and digital platforms. How do we come up with ideas? We need use cases which will enhance our knowledge and make better understanding of the data. How do we build nice and better use cases? We have two approaches for it. One which is a conceptual approach and one which is a data-driven approach. Conceptual approach comes from human. It comes from human intellect and creativity. Humans are very creative and hence, as we know, they have evolved a lot. They can come up with ideas. From ideas, we can have brainstorming sessions where we can design our thinking and come up with the best possible innovative ideas. Now, is this it or is this enough to do? No, that is just not enough because we need a proof for our ideas. We need a stand for our ideas, and that will come with the data that we have. If we have data, we can implement our ideas and come across or come to know what are the weaknesses that we have in the ideas. We can empower those weaknesses, and with combination of pattern recognition and machine learning, we can finally build a use case which is good to understand and which has come up with a conceptual approach and a data-driven approach. Now, talking about all this analytics and big words, what exactly is smart analytics? It is a combination of predictive and prescriptive analytics and techniques. Let us see some industry scenarios when we talk about predictive and prescriptive analytics and where all it can be applied. Just to explain a few, let me take an example of dynamic risk analyzer. What is dynamic risk? Dynamic risk is a risk which affects a mass. It occurs because of changes in prices of commodities, changes in taste of people. Now this risk is very difficult to gauge, but with the application of predictive analytics, it becomes very easy to gauge risk and can be mitigated. Talk about a different example. We have an example of spare part optimization, which is one important industry scenario that has been faced. It is one of the most expensive problems in many organizations. Maintaining excess spares can cost the company a budget. Also, lack of spare parts can result in expensive downtime. The key to all this is optimizing risk and cost. And that can be done by predictive analytics. We know that the demand of spare parts is more predictable than random. And that is where predictive analytics can play a big role. After talking about predictive analytics, we have advanced pattern recognition based prescriptive analytics. So how do we come to prescriptive analytics based on what pattern recognitions we do? Basically, advanced pattern recognition focuses on recognition of pattern and regularities in the data. It helps us find abnormalities, and it has its roots in artificial intelligence, engineering, and statistics. It aims at algorithms to provide a reasonable answer to all possible inputs and to perform most likely matching of the inputs. If we do not get the most likely, that is where the abnormalities lie. If there are abnormalities, we need to get the early warnings, as early warnings are very critical in heavy machineries in the industry. These advanced pattern recognition techniques use statistical techniques like multivariate state estimation, neural networks, principal component analysis, machine learning algorithms, etc., by which we can find out abnormalities in the data and we can have early warnings, which is very critical in big industries. Now, talking about all these big words, analytics, predictive, prescriptive, is it all very easy to do? Can you all do it by yourselves? Can we do it by ourselves? Yes, we can all do it by ourselves. It only doesn't depend on an IT person. We have advanced tools which are user-friendly. At a click of a button, the regression models are generated. Regression is one of a predictive analytics technique. With self-service analytics, the entire workflow can be easily changed and modified and can be made 100% customized. Let me show you a simple demo of how self-service analytics can do wonders. We have one more technique in statistics, or basically in analytics, which is logistic regression. Logistic regression doing in Excel in quick and efficient way is really not possible. We require stats-based tools like R and SAS to do these important techniques. But these tools require coding background. What if I am not or we are not from the coding background and don't know how to code? What is the solution to it? Can we never then do analytics? No, we can do it. And the answer is by using Alteryx. I'll show a quick demo of how Alteryx works. It's a click and drop, drag and drop way of doing it. First, we need to input data into the canvas, which is a workflow. We need to click on the File Browse option and select the data on which we want to perform the analysis. Since we know Excel has different sheets. Can everyone mute their mics? Thank you. After we have chosen the sheet that where we want to work from, we can have a preview of the data that we are working on, as it is highlighted by the red border. Now, we need to select what technique we need to use in our data. Suppose we want to use linear regression on our data. We can just drag linear regression from the above tools and drag it in the workflow. Now, there are various techniques in linear regression that can be conducted, and one of the technique is stepwise, which we choose again and drag and drop it to the workflow. Now, since we need to check if all the workflows are connected, and finally, we can get a score tile, which will help us give the view of the predictions generated by the model. We just click on the run button and the workflow is ready. Yes, the highlighted output that we get is the output of the regression analysis. These are exactly the results that we get from a regression output. Isn't that so easy just on the click of a button. From this model, it becomes easier for us to get the results and to check if we have valid results with us. We can again browse a tile connected with the stepwise regression, and it will show us the regression summary output. Now we can view the predicted values in tabular form and click on the browse tile. It will be displayed below as a canvas. Here we can see the scores, or we can see the predictions, which can be probabilities or some index. As we've seen, it is very easy to do analytics just by a click button, and that is self-service analytics, which can be made easier with Alteryx. After talking about all these concepts in analytics, as we've seen, we need some technology to accompany us and perform these various tools of analytics in tools in analytics. That is where digital transformation should happen. What's in for me? What's in for you? What's in for all of us in this digital transformation? Digital transformation helps us transform operational processes so that we can build better predictive models which can forecast yield and risk. We can transform business models and become globally digitalized. We can transform customer experiences. Any industry would want a customer to be satisfied. So it is very important for any industry to put its customer experience in forefront when developing business models. So digital transformation helps us do all that. What is the roadmap for digital transformation? The important in digital transformation are the people. The crux of digital transformation are people. It is you, me, and us. If we change, if we are digitally transformed, we can change the processes, we can change the technology, and we can change the content. Because we know human is very creative. So what is our role in this digital transformation? How can we take it forward? We need to become digital champions. We need to develop, lead, and transform the strategies. We need to develop the culture where we can talk about analytics, we can make everyone smarter in analytics and create and embrace digital opportunities. We can define key business challenges and needs in the digital space and provide solutions to meeting these challenges. All of these, spoken in parts and pieces, can be attained by getting a career as a data scientist. What are the knowledge requirements for any sustainable career? Speaking here about data scientist, what is important for having a sustainable career as a data scientist? The most important thing is business domain expertise. If we do not have business knowledge, it's impossible for us to identify the problem aligned, and it will become more difficult to find out a solution then. So the most important thing is the business domain expertise and knowledge. And it can be accompanied by the statistical tool skills, R, Excel, SAS, etc. It can also be accompanied by visualization tools where we can use different visualization tools like Tableau, Excel, PowerPoint, and interpret our results to a layman, which for him it becomes easier to understand it. And a little bit accompany of programming and database skills like Hadoop, Python, etc. It has been said now and then that automation will take up jobs of intelligent people by 2025. But intelligent automation will take up jobs of people by 2025? Yes, it might take up jobs of people, but it might take up jobs of people who are not creative. People who are creative will remain because we know machines are not creative. We need to feed machines with our creative knowledge and innovations, and then machines can automate. So we know knowledge is power. Knowledge is the key of success and to have a sustainable career. Being a data scientist is actually a rewarding career. It is one of the hottest jobs in this century, and from the survey that we have from Glassdoor, it is one of the best jobs in America as we can read it. Now, in which all industries can data scientists can flourish with its career? We can see the list of different industries. Here is just a list of top 20 industries which hire big data expertise. But if we go to the list, it covers the maximum number of industries in the world where data scientists are required, because data keeps on flowing from each and everywhere. Now, in all this journey of analytics, digital transformation, what has D4 to offer each one of us? D4 offers with analytics coaching. As we have been mentioning that we want an analytics ecosystem to be built. We want everyone to talk about analytics, and that can happen only through coaching. We want digital champions everywhere. We want analytics champions everywhere. And that starts with analytics coaching, followed by analytics solutions and products, analytics consulting, and reliability exchange. The key feature of D4 offerings is the supervised learning programs in various industries like oil and gas, manufacturing, asset management, power generation and distribution, supply chain, and the foundation. What will course qualify you? The course will qualify you to build predictive models, to predict the prospects through logistic regression, to make smart decisions using decision trees. It will familiarize you with best analytic tools like R, Python, Excel. It will help you create good visualization techniques, and it will give you practical sessions where we can solve or we can deal with real life industry scenarios. We have live industry scenarios that can be solved, like minimizing cost of maintenance, spare parts optimization, predicting equipment reliability, etc. And to list down a more. Now, how do we support our supervised learning program? Yes, our key is the faculty. We have the best faculty, experienced and trained practitioners from industry who can share their knowledge. We have case-based learning models, which gives us hands-on learning with real-life industry problems and case studies. The unique training methodology, which is led by an instructor. It is accompanied by case studies, videos, and role plays. And we have a dedicated support team, which will help resolve the technical and course-related issues, also beyond the classroom. This is really important. The supervised learning program, the key feature of a program is we provide supervised learning beyond classroom hours also, which is extended for 3 months. Now here we have a few names which are on the D4 training panel. These all are industry experts and have good knowledge of analytics and industry. And a few more to come. Thank you everyone.